Hey everyone! So, if you didn't know, Mac Miller's music was super influential for me in high school, and shout out to the senior boys who turned me on to Mac Miller freshman year. But, as most of us know, Mac Miller has passed on to the spirit realm. I think his spirit is still heavily with us, and there's a large gathering today in Pittsburgh at Blue Slide Park to honor Mac and his music. So, I'm going to be making some Macwraps to take with me. What is a Macwrap, you say? Well, I told my friend I was going to be making some wraps to bring to the gathering today, and he said, you gotta call them Macwraps. But anyways, I was thinking what is really going to make this a Macwrap, and this is an ingredient that I was going to put in to the wraps anyways for some healthy fats. But what's really going to make it a Macwrap is the hemp seed. So, yeah. What else is going to be in this Macwrap, you ask? Well, it's going to be vegetarian today. And we got the whole wheat flour tortillas. And by the way, I want to mention that I just got back from the grocery store and I totally used this reusable bag, so doing better things for the planet, hopefully, or for the environment in which humans have to live in, hopefully. So, anyways, I got two things of these whole wheat soft tacos. We got some mushrooms. We got broccoli. Quoting the music video Planet Vegan, it's a true fact. Did you know broccoli has as much protein as steak? We got some organic cabbage. I was checking out the organic section. I was like, some cabbage would probably be pretty freaking good in these. And some organic cauliflower. Okay. And just like more broccoli. I got some pickles. It's really good when you're eating food, and even like before you eat food, so like eat some kind of fermented food like pickles that are in vinegar, because that really like wakes up your gut bacteria and like lets it know that it should be awake, and it wakes up, and then it does a better job of processing the rest of the food. And I'm also gonna slather some hummus on these babies. Alright. I'm going to put the bag away. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually steam the broccoli, the cauliflower, and the mushrooms. So I'm going to start chopping them up. Alright, so I hope it doesn't gross anyone out that Frida is going to be joining us on the table, but she really likes to sit there, and I don't really like trying to make her move. I just don't. You know, bacteria and weird bacteria can be good for us. It makes us more resilient. Alright, so I'm going to start with the broccoli and cauliflower and get those steaming first. They take more time to cook than the mushrooms. So I'm just going to use the heads today, though the stems can be used for cooking. But just to save time, I'm just going to use the lush parts there. We'll save those. I'll probably cook with those another day. And a serrated knife would definitely be better, but I don't have access to one of those at this exact moment, so we're working with what we got. Being really careful with the knife. Just take your time. Alright, now we got those cut off. This is the way I kind of like to do it. I just kind of cut them in half and then work from there. Whoops. That'll go to the compost. It's always good to offer the earth some of what you cook too. It's like you got to give back. Yes, you're going to enjoy it, but the earth will enjoy that sustenance returning to it also. Just gonna cut these florets off like one by one. And my idea is that these are gonna go in the wraps, so I want them to get pretty soft. I'm not really concerned with the size, though I do want them to be kind of small. But if they get soft enough, they should be just fine no matter what size for the wraps. I'm gonna start throwing some of these into the pan here. Ooh, breaking them up with your hands is always fun. Actually, I'm gonna do a good bit of breaking them up with my hands. I just want to be sure that they're not annoyingly big for people to try to eat.
And I know that life is nothing easy. One day I'ma change the world and they'll finally believe it.
And like I said, these should steam up to be soft enough to the point where the size really isn't going to matter that much, because they're going to just be so soft. Alright, Teddy, time to watch out. I gotta cook here, bro. Teddy, bro. Good. Alright, so now I'm going to open this organic cauliflower. Probably only going to use about half of this. Man, thank you God for all the people, for all the hands, all the energy that worked to bring this cauliflower to us today. So grateful for all the energy that went into making this cauliflower possible to use in this recipe. Actually, I'm really just going to use like a third, because there's a schnoz ton of broccoli, and cauliflower, like broccoli, is also really dense. Let's see. See, it's already kind of coming apart. We can just throw it in there. Yeah, I'm just going to kind of rip it apart in here. Broccoli and cauliflower is so good. You can also eat the leaves of cauliflower if you ever want to cook that up. It not only is it beautiful, but it also is super edible.
I think I see where it's going with this one, E.
Actually, just for equal distribution, I'm going to put a little bit more cauliflower. Look how cool that looks. Kind of like a brain.
Hey, $10,000 hands.
The stem is also totally edible when you make anything with cauliflower. There's like the leaves grow out, and then like everything grows up here out of the stem. And the stem is also totally edible. You can eat that, cook it, put it right in with the recipe. So there's the broccoli and the cauliflower all chopped up, and I used my hands for a lot of it. I'm going to go ahead, add some water to that, and put it on the stove. So I'm adding this much water. I might need to add more later, and I'll let you know if I do. I always recommend using the cleanest water possible, though any water is better than no water. Just going to pour that right in there. Gonna put it on the stove. There it is on the stove, and there we got the lid on there. And there, I put the water in. I'm just gonna put it it can go pretty high. Medium. We'll put it on the medium. I'm always kind of learning as I go too. Alright, so that's gonna need to be on there for probably a good 10 to 15 minutes before it really starts getting as soft as I want those pieces, before we add the mushrooms. So in the meantime, I'm just going to add these scraps and extra pieces to a bowl, and these will totally be able to get used later in different recipes, although some of the stuff that's kind of like a little bit discolored, like I'm actually just going to leave that out. We'll put that in the compost. But these broccoli stalks can totally get used in another recipe. Alrighty. That one's a little bit discolored, so I'm not going to use that one. Compost. Way to go. While the broccoli and cauliflower is starting to steam, I'm just going to prepare the tortillas for when they're ready. And I'll show you what that means. I'm trying to make like 10 tortillas maybe. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my hummus. Opening hummus. Okay? And then I'm going to scoop some on each single one and spread it out. Okay? Got the hummus on all of them. I want to sprinkle some of the hemp seed on all of them now, next. So I have my hemp seed in just a jar. You can get hemp seed wholesale online. I like to get it from the East End Food Co-op. They have it in bulk. They also have it at Whole Foods. Just adds like a really nice nutty flavor, and it's also a healthy fat, which to me is super important. Actually, to like every human body is super important to get fats. Some body types are different than others as far as like how many fats a person might need, but yeah, healthy fats are always important for the human body. Here's a aerial view of my hummused and hemp seeded tortillas. How are we going over here? So this smells amazing. I wish you could smell it right now. I hope you make this and smell it. But I can tell that, you know, it's starting to get there. One thing we can do to start making sure that everything is cooking evenly is you can just give it like a nice shake like this. We can also get a spatula and just like mix it around. Yeah, and see all the steam coming out of there? That is essentially what is cooking the veggies. See some darker ones there. Those are the ones that are really getting cooked so far. Okay, leave it there. Still on like medium heat, sort of. Okie dokie. I'm just gonna take the cabbage. It's in the supermarket. I'm just gonna rip off like the first couple layers because those are the ones that were like getting handled as this was traveling from US. It says it was product of the US, so it's traveling from somewhere in the United States to my local supermarket. Just peeling like the first layer or so off. Now go in the compost. Okay, but after that, I'm going to leave pieces and just set them on there. All these can just get some cabbage.
When your dreams make a creation, well, I leave wasted to these sacred vows. Spend a while with a run on sense. It's the beat making, beat breaking down. Complete faded, cremated now. Clean up on our 7. And when your dreams make a creation, well, I leave wasted to these sacred vows. Spend a little bit of time with a run on sense and let it run.
So on this piece, I'm ripping off this hardy kind of stem part and just replacing it with just like the regular like soft leaves. I just don't want any of my friends to have to bite into something super hard unexpectedly today. Since this is raw right now, we're not going to cook the cabbage for this recipe. So now each one has cabbage on them, and we're just going to wait for the rest of the vegetables to continue steaming. At this point, I am going to throw in the mushrooms into the steaming cauliflower and broccoli. These are the ones we're working with today. Baby Bella mushrooms. They're sliced already for convenience. Here it is, open. We got 2 packs of those, so I'm going to open the other one and then pour them in. Okay, I'm just going to take that off. These are steaming up pretty nicely. Feeling pretty soft. You do want to be careful because these things do get hot. It's kind of hard to mix up one-handed. I'm holding my camera with my other hand right now. Wouldn't always cook like that. Usually I would probably have my other hand on the handle there. We love animals in this house, so got the dog bed on deck. These are starting to get pretty soft. It's been about 10 minutes. You're going to keep them in there for longer though, and I'm going to pour in these mushrooms. I am probably just going to take some of this as a salad. Alright, so now I'm just going to cover that, and we'll let the steam rise up to start cooking the mushrooms. They're obviously still steaming a little bit, but that's because they're really hot. They're in the process of cooling down at this point, and I moved them over by the tortillas, and they're going to be about to go on to the tortillas. So I'm just going to scoop them out with this guy, and yeah, let's get into that. Alright, so we're just going to scoop some of these veggies on to all the tortillas, and there's a close-up of the vegetables. We got the cauliflower, broccoli, and mushrooms. Okay, so we're just going to stick those on each one. And one last thing I'm going to do is add a little bit of cumin and a little bit of black pepper to each one for flavor.
It was all about a dream, turned it to reality. Double cup of rain.
To fold, we just put them in a way, kind of like horizontally with the ingredients. Fold the sides over like this, and then fold this side over, and just wrap it up. Ta-da! Mac wrap. Gonna put that in the container. I thought these tortillas were going to be soft enough to the point where folding them would be totally okay without heating them up. But I will say that if you heat up your tortillas before you put the ingredients in them, they're a lot easier to fold. Ta-da! I'm so excited to share these.
I'm just trying to set you free. Remember love if you can't remember me. Dear people on earth after I die, what's the weather like? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I hope you enjoyed cooking those with me. I really enjoyed it. I love cooking so much, and I can't wait to share these mac wraps. Shout out to Aiden for the name. I'm going to be making another video with footage from Macfest, so I can't wait. I'm going to go get ready to head out for Macfest. It's just like a 30-minute drive from my house, so let's go to Macfest.
They gon' try and bring you down. Hating's what they do, but you gotta